Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, The Chronicles of Colvin. Today I'm just off work. I'm waiting on my wife to get off work so I can take her home. We had some blizzardy weather, so we're down to one vehicle, so I thought I'd get caught up on some videos. So I actually convinced my wife to watch Superman and Lois with me from the beginning. I wanted to watch the final season and see how it all played out and ended. And it was next to a miracle that she actually watched it, because she's not into any of that kind of stuff like I am. And I think she actually thoroughly enjoyed it, not being a fan. I really wanted to get her on the video, but she's not ready to be on a video yet. Anyway, my review for Superman and Lois, I think it is some of the best Superman content that we have gotten in the last several years. The writing was outstanding on the fourth season. The first three seasons, it got a little CWE, as I would call it. Little too much drama with the kids and Sarah and the boys and all of that. I could have done with a little less of that, but all in all, I think the series was great. It was a different take. We had, sorry, I'm clicking my pen over here. We had a different take on Superman, to see him with a family and him and Lois with a family. Season 3, I really liked the cancer storyline with Lois and how they delved into, he has all these powers and is basically a god, but there's nothing he can do to save his wife when she's sick. I thought that was really great. The suit, I think they did a great job with his suit. Tyler was the perfect balance between Clark and Superman. I loved how he played both of them. And then in season 4, when he revealed his identity, that was something we haven't ever seen in live action either, when he reveals his identity to the world. And I love the way that they did it, when people were slowly starting to figure out, he can't hide it anymore in Smallville, because people are starting to see things and suspect things, and how he finally just let everyone know and told the world that he was Superman. I thought it was great, the way they did it. Shockingly, one thing I think the show did pull off is I have a new number. My ranking in my Superman in live action has changed, and at the end of the video I'll do a ranking of what has changed in my ranking of Superman. But yeah, season 4, I thought the ending was perfect. The way it ended, the way they wrote the story, how they fast forward and, they had a happy ending and they both died. And I loved the end when he died and he talked about life and how he talked about hope and forgiveness and love being the most important thing, and friendship and relationships. I loved how they did that, and how he was very much a Superman for everyone, and truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. I loved that. So yeah, overall, I would give the whole series, I would say a 9 out of 10. I mean, I think some of the best Superman content we have had as of late. If James Gunn can keep that kind of tone with David Cornsweet in Superman, I'll walk out of the theater happy, because that was just some of the best Superman content. It was great. I don't really know how they could have done any better with what they had to work with to do. Him dying and coming, the only nitpick I did have was with him dying and coming back, and he would eventually become human because he didn't have a Kryptonian heart anymore. I really thought that it was going to be a different heart that Lex destroyed, and he still had the Kryptonian one, and he would get that one back, but he didn't, and that's fine. It was just a different way to see how he would age and, eventually die as a human and not have powers anymore. I would have liked to have seen a continuation of the show with Jonathan and Jordan and their powers being Supermen as well, but we're not going to get that with the DCU coming out. But a guy can dream, right? I mean, more content, the better. If it's good, quality over quantity. So yeah, 9 out of 10. That's what I would give it. I was definitely pleased. I shed a few tears in season 4 when Sam sacrifices himself to give his heart to Clark, and the ending when Lois dies and Clark dies, and they both had a happy ending, and you get to see how their lives progressed. I definitely shed a tear there. It was great. I mean, I loved the family aspect of Clark with the teenagers and having a family. Loved it. That being said, my ranking of the Supermen, here we go. In the number 8 spot, we've got Kirk Allen, the original live-action Superman. Yes, the Superman where he would take off to fly and become a cartoon. That Kirk Allen. Number 8. Number 7, George Reeves, The Adventures of Superman. That was, the first colorized Superman. I believe the first season or 2 were black and white, and then they made it color. George Reeves did a good job at, the comic book Superman. If you know any back history on it, it was a role he hated and didn't want. He didn't want to be typecast as Superman. He wanted to do other roles. He wanted to do other acting, but they wanted him for Superman. If you've ever done any research or watched any documentaries or seen Hollywoodland or not, hashtag, he didn't kill himself. Somebody else killed him, but that's a story for another video. Number 6, Dean Cain. Nothing against Dean Cain, 90s Superman, but the suit, just cheesy suit, I remember Dean Cain when I was little watching Superman on, I think it was CBS, and I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Might have been ABC. But this suit just kind of looks cheap and goofy, and I always just kind of felt like Dean Cain was kind of a goofy Superman. And then my number 5 Superman is the OG Superman, Christopher Reeve. Of course, Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4. We really only like to acknowledge 1, 2, and 3. But 4 as well. Superman's, the original movie Superman. And then number 4, and the only reason he's at number 4 and not behind Christopher Reeve is Brandon Routh. And that's because he got his redemption on the CW with the Kingdom Come version of Superman. Not that Superman Returns was a bad movie, but on its own, it's an okay movie. But as a Christopher Reeve-esque sequel, there's not really a lot of action or fighting scenes. It does get boring and plogged down with the plot a little bit throughout the movie. Again, he does have a son in that movie, which you eventually find out. And the airplane scene, really cool scene when he saves the airplane and when he lifts the kryptonite out of the ocean. But, we never really got any action or anything out of it until we saw him in the CW on the Crisis event, and we got him in that Kingdom Come suit, and we got a little bit of redemption for the character. So Brandon Routh at number 4. Plus, I met Brandon. I'll put that picture up so you can see it. Oh, look, there it is right there. Number 3, Tom Welling. Smallville. Tom Welling, we really never saw him as Superman. He was really only Clark Kent. And he wasn't really the goofy type of Clark Kent we were used to. He was just, your average teenager Clark Kent discovering that he had these powers and abilities. I don't think Tom had actually ever read a Superman comic before he got the role. But I loved Tom Welling growing up. I was a teenager, 12, 13 when Smallville actually came out. It was on the WB before it became the CW. We didn't get that channel. And I think I got the first two 2 or 3 seasons on a box set DVD for, I think, my 12th or 13th birthday, I remember. And I remember binge watching those on DVD. And then they started showing it on ABC Family, I think, is when they started showing it. And then we got the CW, so then I got to watch it live and current every week. But I love Tom Welling. His ending, I mean, I would have loved to actually have seen him in a suit at some point, but, you know, they CGI'd Brandon's suit on him, which was fine. But if you've ever, you know, seen the Smallville comic season 11, you know what the suit had potential to look like. And it would have been nice to at least actually have seen him in the suit. I've actually met Tom Welling too. Oh, look, there's a picture of it right there. Great dude. He actually signed, I got my jacket that I'm wearing in the picture. He actually signed that for free. He pulled me around the table at the con I was at, and he autographed it for free. I think he said something about, since I was sweating in it all day, he might as well make it worth it. Now this is where it's going to get a little shocking, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this myself, but the number 2 spot of Superman, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm downgrading Henry Cavill in that number 2 spot. He's moving from number 1. The only reason he's moving from number 1 is because he didn't get his full arc to show what his Superman could have been. We only had his Man of Steel and his Batman versus Superman, which were great, epic Superman storylines, and he did a great job. His suit is spectacular. His portrayal is astonishing. And then the Justice League fiasco, he got his redemption in Zack Snyder's Justice League with the black suit. Amazing. And then we had him back in Black Adam for that cameo. I still remember it in the theater. Everybody going wild when he came back for that cameo in the credits. And then we got James Gunn, and then all of that was over with. And Warner Brothers screwed him over again and made him announce he was back, and then pulled the carpet out from everybody. Only reason he's at number 2. Deserves to be at number 1 if we would have got his full arc and his full story, and him continued as Superman, as the hopeful Superman, as Clark Kent. We saw him as Clark Kent in Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman a little bit, but we didn't get his whole like Clark Kent. He was more Superman than Clark Kent. But he does have a great shirt-ripping scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that leaves us to the number 1 spot, and of course, Tyler Hoechlin is in my number 1 spot, only because he had a full arc through the CW on Supergirl, Superman and Lois. He had the full arc. You got it. We got to see a completed arc, got to see it finished from beginning to end. Him dying, you know, his legacy, everything. His suit was great. Everything about Superman and Lois and his journey through that show was just great. And that's why it's at the number 1 spot. You know, I remember when they were doing Superman and Lois, I was a little worried because when he was on in the Arrowverse, they always kind of made him weaker and kind of a joke compared to Supergirl. She was always having to save him. So I was kind of worried when they did Superman and Lois. Are they going to make him, you know, is he going to be jokey Superman, weaker Superman, or are they going to do it right and him be strong? And when they had that pilot, I mean, everything was put to ease. That was Superman. So that's my ranking of Superman. Tyler Hoechlin has the top spot now, not Henry Cavill, but I still love them all. It's just a ranking. I don't hate any of them. It's just my favorites on that spectrum. So if you disagree with my list, if your favorite Superman lies somewhere else, put it down in the comments. Start a discussion. You know, get a friendly discussion going on who your favorite Superman is and why. Not everybody's going to have the same list. It's all going to be different. Film's subjective. Art, You know, it's art, it's subjective. Everybody's going to have a different Superman. A lot of people hate Henry Cavill. A lot of people love Henry Cavill. But it's just, a lot of people think Christopher Reeve is #1. I personally don't. I think there's better Superman than Christopher Reeve, but I get it. He's the OG movie Superman, and that's what a lot of people grew up with. So put your thoughts down in the comment, who your favorite Superman is and why. Did you like Superman and Lois? What did you think of it? Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe you did. That's great. Put your thoughts and comments down below. And again, if you like this video, if you like this content, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. That gets my channel out there. This year, trying to hit 500 subscribers this year, so go ahead and share it, get it out there, and we'll see you on the next video. Stay warm.